Ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting, and it is a testament to the influence of media in our country. This is not an indictment, or it's eventually going to be an indictment or prosecution of a CFO, very likely a CFO, Alan Weisselberg, of Trump's organization. But this is like the power, the influence of media in our country. They're able to change the narrative and spin everything as long as it suits one political party. So this is not about the rule of law. This is simply fabricating yet another fiasco around Trump. Clinton had servers with top secret intelligence on them, running outside of the United States government, deletes 30,000 emails. No problem. James Comey says, gosh, there was no intent. Trump is investigated for close to 4 years on working with Russia. They found nothing. The Steele dossier was completely debunked. They investigated based on a high to moderate confidence assessment. Then they said, we need his tax returns. He's linked to corruption and the Kremlin and Russia and Putin, and he's basically installed by Russia. And so he has financial ties. Then they said he wasn't really wealthy, and he inflated his net worth and got loans unlawfully. Then they said he had insurance issues. Now they're saying he paid for the tuition of his CFO's grandchildren. But I thought he was this operative that had so much, that Putin had so much on, so much compromise. I thought that was the issue. Now you have prosecutors gave Trump Organization lawyers until Monday to convince them not to file criminal charges, report says. So the Washington Post has reported about an hour ago, someone within the Trump Organization is going to get indicted. Okay, this is not about the rule of law. Obviously, it's not about the rule of law. If it's about the rule of law, then you go after Democrats with the same enthusiasm. So the Clinton Foundation, for example, Rudy Giuliani and others. Giuliani used to be the top prosecutor in New York, and then America's mayor, and that all changed because he picked the wrong political side. Now they're going after him. But this is utilizing government agencies, which is what Democrats did to go after their political opponents, which is what they cried and moaned and complained about for 4 years regarding Trump. Trump never did that. The notion that he would even think of investigating our beloved President Biden was enough to impeach him. Even though we have his son's emails that point to massive, not only corruption, but almost certain pay-to-play schemes. It's not about nepotism. It's about being hired by an energy corporation that is located in the same country that your father is supposed to be the point man of. Where even Maria Ivanovich stated, oh yeah, I was told that any conflicts of interest issues, I should just simply ask the vice president's office what they think of it. And you force out a prosecutor, and then Democrats say, oh, the prosecutor was forced out because he wasn't doing his job. It's like, no, Biden's on tape. Trump had every right to look into potential conflicts of interest and potential criminality. But the notion got him indicted or impeached. Now, they can't go ahead and indict him on anything he did. Because I thought that they've had his tax returns since February 25th, right? Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link is below in the pinned comment. If you enjoy my voice, if you enjoy my thought process, word of mouth is really the best thing you could do. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. And if you want to become a member, that's fantastic. There's emojis. It's fantastic. It's awesome. It's really fun. And if you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, go to hagoodman.com. You can see my debates there as well. But ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, word of mouth, tell your friends, tell your family. If anyone's interested in a new channel to look at and to listen to or to enjoy, tell them about H.A. Goodman and my other channel on YouTube within the pinned comment. We're almost at 182,000 subs, by the way. But Trump Organization lawyers have until Monday to dissuade prosecutors from bringing charges, WAPO, Washington Post reported insider. On Thursday, Trump lawyers met with investigators and said criminal charges seemed likely. On what? His company could face criminal charges. I thought that he was supposed to be indicted. I thought he was supposed to be prosecuted because of his endless corruption. He, not his company, not his CFO, not anyone to flip and sing on Trump. They are really into their own fantasy regarding Trump. They have it's like it's intoxicating to them. It gives them a raison d'être. It gives them a reason for being. It gives them like this false, phony moral superiority they have where they don't look at their own criminal acts. I mean, you have the vice president, the former vice president, our current president's son, apparently lying on the form to obtain a firearm. And he's protected by the Secret Service, and he still wants to have a firearm, which is interesting because it's Democrats who want to limit and curb the Second Amendment. So there goes controlling the Second Amendment. And we're talking about the most duplicitous, hypocritical family of all time, in addition to the Clintons. Well, actually, the Clintons are very honest. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a private service, mine. Well, they weren't honest about it, but they're very honest in their corruption. I'm like, what are you going to do about it? Apparently nothing, and nobody will ever do anything about it, which is fine. I'm beyond all of that. You want to have top secret intelligence on private servers? God bless you. Go ahead. Enjoy. James Comey will cover up for you? Fine. But the interesting thing is, you go after Trump's organization. You stated for 5 years the guy is a corrupt criminal. His empire of corruption is vast, and his rampant disregard for the law, flouting democracies and norms, and everything. They couldn't find anything on him. He didn't work with Russia. He didn't pressure Zelensky. Even President Zelensky himself stated that's not true. They impeached him. You have 92% negative media coverage. They impeached him again for crimes that had nothing to do with him. He didn't tell people to do anything. Just like Democratic politicians who said get in people's faces didn't tell anyone to engage in $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 25 lives lost, according to Wikipedia, and 14,000 arrests, according to the Associated Press. But in the minds of Democrats, January was the only time there was mayhem. That day was the only time there was mayhem. All the federal buildings, all the police officers and law enforcement that were injured and assaulted and all that stuff, that's fine, according to Democrats. And crime is increasing exponentially. The economy is stagnant. You still have a 7 to 8% unemployment rate in Democratic-run states, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Democrats had the worst outcomes according to the pandemic. They couldn't find anything on Trump-Russia. They lied through their teeth. And they milked it and extracted every ounce of political utility and monetary gain from it. And algorithms prevented people from talking about the president's son's emails. The New York Post account was suspended. Facebook banned any conversation about the origins of something that we now are talking about because, guess what? Trump was right again. He never cleared Lafayette Square for a photo op. That was complete fake, phony, and false news meant to just perpetuate this anxiety and angst and anger. There were no Russian bounties either, which is funny because Trump wants to bring home Americans. So you wouldn't have to worry about any bounties because our Americans would be brought home. But see, again, they don't think. These are the same people who believe that Sam Cedar is the reincarnation of Christopher Hitchens or Gore Vidal. Nothing could be further from the truth. I would love to debate him. I would ask him why President Zelensky himself refuted the absurd claim that he was pressuring Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Yeah, well, we have his son's emails right there. He used the most offensive word in the English language. I'd love to get his take and any liberal's take on that. But of course, you don't cancel anyone on the left. You give them a tiny slap on the wrist, maybe. And then the moral indignation. So, look. They're going after Trump's company. They want somebody, maybe Alan Weisselberg, in his company to flip and sing. They're going after, very likely, tuition payments and perhaps other gifts or payments by the nefarious orange monster. This is not Trump Russia. This is not insurance problems. This is not loans that he obtained illegally. They've moved the goalpost so far, you can't even, it's like hundreds of miles away. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.